What's going on, people? Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV. I've got Ryan from the Fifth Officials YouTube channel with me today. Big Spurs fan, and obviously Tottenham have won at Villa Park by 2-0. A much needed result after a dreadful week. Ryan, how are you doing? How are you feeling after that result as well?
I'm all right. Not too bad. I was still struggling to stay awake after the first half, but the second half woke me up, so I'm not too bad tonight. Especially now we've got the win and the clean sheet as well. Makes it better before the international break.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's always nice to go into the international break winning a game. Otherwise, you've got 2 weeks of just sadness.
Yeah.
I thought we were really good today. What did you think of the overall performance and the reaction from, like I said, is what has been a really, really disappointing week?
It was better. They showed a lot more fight tonight than we've seen over the past week. Obviously, Tanganga and Rodon in the defence was much better than we've seen previously. I mean, Vinicius as well. He's not the most pleasing on the ball, but he never stops tracking back when he loses it. So, and I know he gives free kicks away, but like I said, it's just that I think that was the main thing this week was the fight from the players. That's what we wanted to see, an actual desire to play for the club and do something for this team. And you couldn't. I think we felt lucky with who we was playing tonight as well with Villa. Obviously, no Jack Grealish in the side, but like I say, before the international break, it's nice to get that 3 points and 3 points off top 4 now, which seems a bit mad after the week we've had, but you can't complain.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's just like you said. It was the most important thing today was the desire and the fight, and I think I saw that in a lot of the players. Like you said, Vinicius. I don't mind giving those free kicks away though, because it means he's working hard. I think it's just the Thursday night was so disappointing because I really personally thought we could win a European trophy, and now it sort of feels like, I mean, we still do have a lot to play for, but it just sort of feels like we've lost that, I mean, it felt like everything was just so down. So I think it was a really important win. I mean, the team selection surprised me, and I'm a big critic of the defence, just like I'm sure a lot of people are. But today, credit is due where it's due, and the whole back four were really, really impressive. I have to say. What did you make of Tanganga and Rodon coming in, and obviously Sanchez?
I love the team. My ideal lineup had Tanganga and Rodon in. To be honest, I was hoping to see both of them start, and I do think now even after the international break, I think the first game back is Newcastle. I think you've got to keep them. You got to keep them both in. I think the only reason I think Sanchez played tonight was because Alderweireld was ill. So they've said. So I still do worry about it. Like I say, he had some clumsy moments, but the second half he did a lot better than the first half. Won a few tackles, came out with the ball a bit more. So I'm the only hope I've got now is that Tanganga and Rodon start the next game. I don't want it to just be a one-game effect for Mourinho. I do hope that he does keep them both in now, but I say you never know. If one of them could pick an injury up international break or anything, you never know what happens. So,
well, fingers crossed they will come back fit. But I thought, like you said, I thought Rodon was very in control for the whole game. I thought Tanganga was excellent, commanding and strong in his challenges. And I thought, despite the early shakiness, Sanchez grew into the game. And like you said, a couple of great tackles, and he brought the ball out a bit more. And I think he just grew into the game a bit. And against a good striker in Ollie Watkins and good players in Traore and El Ghazi and whoever else was around him, I thought they did all right. And I thought a big shout out as well for Lucas Moura. I thought, again, that's another playing on Thursday night and parts of extra time. I thought he was absolute. That's what it's all about. That's all we ask for. A bit of desire, a bit of fight. Just run with the ball. Just run. It's not. We don't ask for much. So I was really, really happy with that. What did you make of the goals we scored? Obviously, Vinicius coming in, getting a goal. A big surprise to see him in the starting lineup. And I thought that two up top, it could work in the future if we want to stick with it. What do you think?
Yeah, that is I think going defensively in the game, it was a classic 4-4-2. It was like like the Burnley formation that they play at the minute. They're just a solid two solid lines of four. with your two strikers. I think the goals, it was like I say, the first one was all about Lucas Moura and that fight he's shown to get to press high up the pitch, win the ball back. Obviously, Kane is calm in those situations, so it wasn't hard for him to play it back to Lucas, but to get it into the middle to Vinicius as well, that's where we want to see our striker, because when we do only have Kane up front, he is everywhere. He usually plays that first ball, so by the time we've got it out wide, we haven't got anybody in the box on the receiving end. So it was nice to have a striker with Kane tonight. And then obviously the second goal, the penalty, I won't complain about it because it was a penalty for us, just like theirs was against us last week. The ball's gone out. Yeah, it's just exactly the same. So obviously all tonight I've seen all the Harry Kane's a cheat, Harry Kane's a diver, but it happened to us last week. That's what I mean. Yeah, it happened to us last week. Yeah, he's miscontrolled the ball, but he's also been wiped out at the same time. So if you want consistency now in the officials, that is consistent. Give that a penalty. So I can't see why people are complaining. But another goal for Kane. Was it 100 off? I think 100 off Shearer's now. So if we can get top 4 this season, we might keep him. Maybe he can go for that with us.
I think we'll keep him. I don't see anyone stumping up the cash for a 28-year-old who has his annual injury, and you take his wages into account, you're looking at 200+ million for a striker that's only got 3-4 years left in him, when you can go out and get Haaland for half the price and you'll get 8 more years out of him. That's just my opinion, of course. That I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd be very, very surprised if Harry Kane wasn't at Tottenham next season. But I don't really want to look ahead anyway, because that, as a Tottenham fan, it's just a bad idea. But tonight, I'm really happy with the result, and I'm really happy with, or I'm much happier with the performance and the desire tonight. And I thought, fair play, the team was right, the shape was right, and just on what you said about that those 2 banks of 4, that Burnley, I think we've got quality. If you want to play those banks of 4, it's not like you've got Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood up front. You've got Harry Kane and Vinicius, and people think we didn't even have Sonny tonight. So if you add Son in there, it's something to build in. It's a new formation that we haven't seen at Tottenham in a while, and it's something I think we can build on. And hopefully, I think we should see in the future. I don't think he should change that team for that game up in Newcastle.
No, I don't think he will. Yeah, if he's keeping that formation, I think he does have to have a word with Gareth Bale and say to him, if you want a part of this team, then you have to be in that 2 with Harry Kane up front, because he's not the player to track back and cover at right back. He's not going to do that. So if Bale wants anything now to do for the rest of the season, he's going to have to compromise and say, all right, and I'm willing to play down the middle for you. I think Sonny's fine, because I think the 2 banks of 4, I'd say, were when we were defending. When we was going forward, it turned into more like the diamond formation with Lo Celso coming inside and Lucas also coming inside. So there's a million possibilities, but like I say, we've got 2 weeks off now for a pointless international break again. So if everyone comes back fit and everyone comes back healthy for us, and none of this self-isolating stuff, whichever countries they go to and whatnot, then you haven't got a reason to change this team for Newcastle now. They've won, they've kept a clean sheet. They didn't play great in the first half, but when you look back at the first half, Villa they might have had majority of the possession, but they didn't actually have a shot on goal. They didn't create any chances.
No, exactly.
So as long as everyone comes back fit, there's absolutely no reason to change this team for Newcastle now.
No, exactly. Also, people forget that this international break, whilst it might be pointless, a lot of the players won't be going on international duty. Obviously, a few will. Kane, the Wales boys, the Belgium contingent, and whatnot. But some of them will be staying. And this was our 48th game of the season today. Compare that to Villa. This was their 32nd game of the season.
Yeah.
So if you take that into account, this could be a much needed rest for some of the players, like Sonny being withdrawn from the Korean team for this international break. He'll get a good rest. whatever you think of him, Davinson Sanchez has played every game since the new year, more or less, or since February at least. So he'll get a rest. I'm not sure if he's going off to Colombia or not, but I'm sure people in the comments can correct me on that. So there's players that will stay and get a good 2-week rest, and the players that will go will have time with their international mates and have a bit of a break from what must be an interesting training ground to be at the moment. So it's an interesting one, but look, we can't complain at 3. You can never complain at 3 points and a clean sheet away from home.
No, I know Reguilon's not been picked by Spain either, and as like I say, it's a good 2-week break for him, just on the training ground, light training with Spurs, still at home, not doing anything. So it is, the majority of them won't. Obviously, we've got the big players, Kane's going away, and like I say, the Welsh lads, Lloris and Ndombele with France, stuff like that. But it is when we've got this lower confidence. I think at the minute it's nice to go to a different environment, different teammates, just bring some fresh energy back with you.
Yeah.
And hopefully carry on after the international break, because these games now, like I say, it's all or nothing. I know we've got the Carabao Cup final, but if you want Champions League football next season, these last games now in the league, it's all or nothing for them now. They've got to put in 100% effort and fight and desire to get that Champions League football, because we don't want Europa League football again, especially with qualifiers. Because like I say,
we don't get knocked out anyway.
No, the amount of games we've already played compared to the rest is ridiculous. You don't want that new Europa Conference, or that's just a pity European competition for teams who haven't made it. So you've got to put everything in there for Champions League, and with the players we've got, like I say, the Ndombele, Højbjerg, Reguilon, Kane, Son, they want Champions League football, and the board clearly want it because of the money you get with the Champions League, and the lack of funds coming in at the minute with COVID and no fans and all the events we've missed out on at the new stadium. These last 9 games for us now are more important than they should have been if we were still in the Europa League.
No, mate, you're bang on that. And then just on that as well, I think whilst, like I said this in another video, it's very, very Thursday night. There's no excuses. It's very, very disappointed. I just like many others, including yourself, probably thought this is a real chance at a European Cup here. So obviously bitterly disappointing as well in the manner we lost and who we lost to and everything. But, well, not even but, because it's not an excuse. However, the fact that we will then have less games at the end of the day might work in our favour, not having those midweek trips to wherever it might be in the Thursday night, those Thursday, Sunday games. Having that extra rest might benefit us. I hope it benefits us. And obviously if we can win the Carabao Cup as well as a little trophy to add, for which I think we need and ultimately deserve after this last 6 seasons that we've been so close. We need it now. So hopefully we can get it. But on tonight, like we said, big 3 points. Big 3 points.
Yeah, massive. I say going out of the Europa League on Thursday was it's hard to pick the actual emotion you felt going out to that game, because there was so many. But if we'd stayed in that competition, we probably not necessarily, but probably would have held back in the league a bit and put all our eggs into that basket. If you then go out in the semi-final and you're 8 points, 10, 12 points off top 4, we've completely blown any chance out of there. So these games now, all we've now got to focus on is the final, which, like you say, it's not the trophy that you're desperate for at the start of the season, but as Tottenham fans, we can't be picky. We can't choose which trophy to win, so that will come as a gift for us if we can beat City to that. But tonight's just the start of hopefully a much-needed run in the league now. A bit of confidence, a clean sheet for the defence, another goal for Kane, a good performance from Lucas, like I said, man of the match performance from Lucas. Vinicius starting, getting his first league goal of the season. So we can only look up from here. There's no point thinking about what we could have done in the Europa League now. It's just got to focus on this league, and hopefully tonight's the start we needed, desperately needed.
Yeah, mate, you're bang on there. Couldn't have put it better myself. Let's hope it's a catalyst for a nice end or a better end to the season than what we've been seeing recently, and a strong end to the season. Ryan, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. It's finished Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 2, and as always, like, comment, subscribe, check out the Fifth Officials as well, and as always, come on, you Spurs.